Greenland has given a green light to oil exploration in the northeast of the country, an area previously untouched by industry. The move comes as the cash-strapped country searches for ways to fix its economy and give it independence. RT's Alexey Yaroshevsky takes a closer look then at the pros and the cons of this decision now.
Drilling and oil exploration off the western coast of the country, particularly at Baffin Bay, has already been underway for some time by the likes of Shell, Chevron and ExxonMobil. But BP and its partners will now explore the Amarok concession in the northeast, which amounts to thousands of square kilometers. Some believe there may be a huge reserve of oil there, up to 110 billion barrels, potentially the largest in the whole of the Arctic. The decision of Greenland's leadership is a complete U-turn from what it said only 9 months ago, when a moratorium on any further drilling was imposed due to environmental concerns. The latest move is understood to be tightly connected with Greenland's strive for independence from Denmark. For now, it's been relying solely on its faltering fish industry and grants from Copenhagen, but it's also known to have vast reserves of diamonds, gold, rare metals, as well as having the world's second-largest reserve of fresh water. But clearly, it's the black gold which could make Greenland both economically and politically independent. And the government is happy to have more international oil giants on board to boost these ambitions. However, not everyone is as thrilled. Ecologists have already blasted the move, pointing at BP's checkered record. Describing the Arctic environment as very fragile, they say that even a minor oil spill in the crystal-clear waters of Greenland could cause a major disaster. BP officials say they will take several years to carefully prepare for the challenging exploration work. Given the intensity of environmentalist criticism, it's almost guaranteed that this period will be marked by the protests of those opposed to any drilling in the Arctic.
We discussed the issue with the former Prime Minister of Greenland. He said the drilling projects are of vital importance to the country and to the well-being of its people.
One has to understand that, first of all, the Greenland economy today is heavily dependent on block grants from Danish government. Almost 40% of the government budget's annual budget is block grant from Denmark. Greenland society needs to establish new economic activities, and since the opportunities and the potential are limited with regards to, for instance, expanding the fisheries or create jobs within agriculture or tourism, it's all very limited. We have to look at the mineral sector as well. We know from around the world and from history that it's impossible to guarantee that the environment will not be harmed. But you need to calculate how big the risk is. And also, in terms of regulations, Greenland is known for being one of the countries in the world with the toughest regulations on the environment. But at the same time, you need to be aware that you cannot guarantee forever that the environment will not be harmed. So in terms of trying to establish our own economy and to be as much economically and politically independent, we need to explore other sources of economic activity.
By letting oil companies into its waters, Greenland's therefore joined the race now for Arctic resources, a race in which many nations are already competing. Njord Vegge from the Nansen Institute in Norway explained why the region's become so important these days.
Well, I guess the overall reason is climate change that makes the Arctic Ocean's ice cover melt at a record high pace. However, I also think technology as well as prices on oil and gas and natural resources overall matters a lot in explaining this new interest as well as activity taking place in the Arctic. Most of these resources are actually within undisputed sovereign states' control. So I think we should more look at the economy in it rather than the potential scramble and clash between states when it comes to utilization here.